Hi, this is Jamie Machik with the Wisconsin Valley Library Service. And for this digital bite, we are going to continue our series on internal customer service and focus on colleagues or coworkers who challenge us. So let me be very clear that this is not regarding a colleague who maybe is not doing their job or being insubordinate or who maybe is harassing. That is something completely different. Something like that should require disciplinary action. When I'm talking about challenging colleagues, it's that person who does their job well, and for whatever reason, we might just butt heads a little bit with this person. Maybe we clash, we just don't always see eye to eye. So that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about challenging colleagues. So let's go ahead and continue. We're going to talk about, in this digital bite, 5 facts, 5 things about challenging colleagues that are likely not going to change. And then what are some solutions to these 5 facts? Okay, so number 1, hard fact. You're not going to be friends with everyone you work with. That is very likely. We are not necessarily going to like everyone we work with, and we are not going to be their best friend. And that is okay. That is okay. We should have a life, and we should have friends outside of work. That's perfectly fine. When we choose a place to work, or when we get hired, at a library or an organization, we choose that organization. We likely know who our supervisor or director or boss is going to be. Sometimes that can change too. We don't get to choose who we work with. We don't get to choose our coworkers or usually our colleagues. So more likely than not, we will not always get along with everyone we work with. So that's something that we need to accept right off the bat. But what are some solutions to that? Even though we might not see eye to eye with everybody we work with, everyone deserves our respect, even that person. Everybody. Everybody should be acknowledged with a hello or a good morning when you see this person, or when they leave, have a good evening, have a good weekend. These are just basic ideas of common courtesy that everyone should get, whether we like this person or not, or agree with what they do at work. We also should always continue that politeness and use the word please. Could you get me, those board minutes by the end of the day, please, when we're making a request. And we should always say thank you. So these are just common courtesy phrases that I've talked about in customer service bites before that also apply to these coworkers who might challenge us. Fact number 2, we all have different styles with how we work, and we all do different things in our jobs. Some of us are very good at seeing the big picture. Some of us are very good at focusing on details. Some of us are very good at multitasking. Some of us get overwhelmed when we multitask, and we do better when we handle one task at a time. Some of us do very visible work in our libraries. If you are a graphics designer, or you do work on the website, or you do programming, it's very easy to see when something is successful. The website looks awesome, or you created an awesome poster or flyer, or you had 75 people attend a program, the most you've ever had. Those things are very visible. And others in your organization or in your library might do work that's more behind the scenes. Maybe they're doing cataloging, maybe they're doing things more in management. But it doesn't mean that their work is any less important. It doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. So you all have different ways in that you work, and you all have different duties at work. So what are some solutions to this? So if we have different styles, there's nothing wrong with giving a reminder or a soft deadline. So let's say you are expecting something by Friday, but your hard deadline is really not until Monday. So you might give what's called a soft deadline of, I need this on Friday. And then if you don't get it on Friday, you still have some cushion before that hard deadline. So I do soft deadlines a lot, and I appreciate it when people do the same for me. You also want to play to each other's strengths. So let's say that you are really good at spreadsheets and your coworker, Eric, is more creative. Well, he might ask you, and there's nothing wrong with him asking you, hey, do you mind if you take a look at my budget spreadsheet for programming? I'm having some trouble with that. I know you're really good at Excel, and it would be great if you could help me with this. So play to each other's strengths. We're not all great at the same things. And then you also should be asking yourself, is the job getting done? So you might not agree with how somebody chooses to check in a book or import a record, or, maybe they don't do shortcuts on the computer the way you do. But you have to ask yourself, is the job getting done? Maybe someone doesn't do something the way I would do it or have done it, but at the end of the day, is the job getting done? Fact number 3, another hard fact. You will disagree with your colleagues. I know, shocking, right? You will disagree with your colleagues, and most likely your supervisor at some point, if you haven't already. And that is also normal. That is okay. It's okay to disagree. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And we also have to realize that we're not always going to get our way at work. There are times that someone will make a decision that we don't agree with. So what are some solutions to that? We have to realize that also at the end of the day, our supervisor can tell us what to do. Our supervisor can make a decision, yes or no. And we have to respect that. That is why that person is in that position. They were hired and put in that position to make those decisions. We also should set up a face-to-face meeting instead of gossiping, instead of sending emails that are snarky or passive-aggressive or unkind. It's way better to talk to somebody about a disagreement face-to-face than to do it behind someone's back via email. Definitely not on your Facebook page or social media. That's a big no-no. But set up that face-to-face meeting. And then at the end of the day, we have to support the final decision. We might not agree with it. And that's okay. However, we have to support it. We have to get behind it. So number 4, you, me, we choose our behavior every day. We choose how we are going to act and react every day that we come into work. Are we going to choose to have a positive attitude that day? Are we going to choose to not be positive? Are we going to react to gossip in a negative way? Are we somebody who spreads gossip? We choose our behavior every day. So how can we improve on this, or what are some solutions to this? I've talked about gossip in the past. Avoid it. Walk away from it. If you hear about it in those water cooler moments, avoid it and don't spread it. It has no place in the workplace, and it can get you in trouble, possibly terminated. So just avoid it altogether. Also realize when you have a bad day. We all have them. Acknowledge it, and then the next day, try to have a better day. If you weren't so kind to somebody on your bad day, acknowledge that too. Hey, Amy, I know I apologize if I didn't see myself yesterday. I wasn't having a good day, and I appreciate you, being here and offer to listen, and I appreciate that. And today is going to be a better day. So realize your bad days. We also have to do all the things. We have to do the things that we like and do the things at work that we don't like. There are always going to be things we don't like, and we still have to do them. That's part of our job. We also shouldn't be undermining colleagues in front of patrons. There might be something going on with one of our colleagues, and maybe things are just a little bit off. The last thing we should be doing is, admitting that or talking about that with the patron, like, oh, yeah, Scott's not been doing so well. I don't know what's his problem, but I can help you with that. We don't want to do that. We need to keep that internal. So we shouldn't be undermining, we shouldn't be undermining our patrons. I've talked about that in other digital bites. We also shouldn't be undermining each other in front of patrons. And then finally, focus on something positive of this person. There is something positive with everybody. Even the people we don't like as much, or the people we clash with. Is there something positive about this person? Yes, likely there is. So maybe you don't always care for how Amy, does certain things, but hey, she is really great in her programming. She does a bang up job with that. So focus on the positive things. And finally, number 5, we will always work with people who challenge us, with people who clash with us. This will happen. We can't fix it, usually can't fix it. Can we fix this person? Probably not. Should we expect to fix this person or for that person to change? Probably not. But what can we do? One thing that I try to ask myself when I am clashing with a colleague, or even this could be in personal relationships, your family, your spouse, your children as well. I ask myself one of 3 things. Is what this person is doing illegal? Is it unethical? And is it dangerous? So something illegal would be, let's say our coworker Carrie is taking money from the snack bin and pocketing it. Okay, so that's illegal. That's stealing, right? Unethical, Carrie is also a Mary Kay consultant, and she uses part of her afternoons, she goes overtime on her lunch break to sell products to her clients. Okay, that's unethical. She's using work time to double dip and not focusing on her work. So that's unethical, right? And then dangerous. Carrie often brings in metal pans from home to heat food in the microwave, and sometimes sparks fly. Okay, that's dangerous. That's a hazard. So if Carrie is not doing one of those 3 things, under the illegal, the unethical, or dangerous, we have to try to let it go. Did Carrie forget to wash a mug one day and leave it in the sink? Yes. Is that worth getting upset over? Probably not. Is leaving a mug in the sink illegal, unethical, or dangerous? No. How do we solve that? What do we do? Well, that's up to us. But is it worth getting upset over? And, in Carrie's face? No. So those are 3 things I always ask myself when I'm working with someone who challenges me. So those were our 5 tips on working with challenging colleagues. I hope you found them helpful and that they are things that you can use to apply in your own work life, maybe your personal life too. Again, if you have any ideas for a digital bite, please email me. We are happy to take ideas. These trainings are meant for you and to help you in your everyday work in the library. So with that said, I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week. So long.